Update 5 is a massive update that's going to be bringing nesting, skin system, new locations on the map, and a whole bunch of new features to the Isle Evrima, and is definitely an update that everybody is looking out for. Today, I'm giving you the full rundown on this entire update, everything in it, a guide on how to do certain things, basically the complete overview of this brand new update. Timestamps for everything are on the screen now, and if you are new, feel free to subscribe. And before I get into the video, I do want to give a massive shout out to Islander, who pointed me in the right direction for this video. Anyways guys, let's just dive right into it. Firstly, let's dive into the main part of the update, the part of the update that everybody wants to know about, and that is nesting. I'm going to talk about the nesting factors, location, nesting ground locations, and of course, baby life as well. So let's just dive right into it with some factors. So there are 3 big factors that you need to be wary of when you are going in to nesting, and that is the diet of your dinosaur. The better the diet, the better the incubation time, or the better chance there is of laying eggs as well. Species of dinosaur is important because some dinosaurs lay more eggs. And then finally, you've got the location, because if you nest in a nesting ground, you have a higher chance as well of getting more eggs from your nest. Now, speaking of the location, let's talk about that really quickly. So truthfully, it's quite important when you are looking for a nest. You want to factor in a couple things, because you're either going to be deciding against a location that's good for food and doesn't have the buffs and debuffs that a location that's in the nesting ground would get, or of course the nesting ground. So if you want to go and be risky and get the benefits, you would pick the nesting ground. The nesting ground is the most beneficial area because it provides a lot of buffs for your nests in the Isle Evrima, and well, these are the benefits that you'll get. For example, you're more likely to get more eggs. The eggs will incubate faster, and you are a lot less likely to get rotten eggs as well, which I'll talk about a little bit later down the line. Nesting grounds have a big disadvantage, however, because they are in an open area. Carnivores will know where they are, and it's either going to be full of people or empty of people. If it's full of people, you're more likely to be safe because other herbivores might defend other herbivores that are nesting there. But if it's not full of people and you're on your own, you might get picked off by a hungry carnivore that knows there is a guaranteed nest in that nesting ground. Now, of course, you can also then choose, do you want to have the benefits of the nesting ground, or do you want to have the benefit of being near a food source and water source? For example, if you were the pteranodon, you'd go near the sea stacks because then you can kill turtles, get fish, and then bring that back to the nest, and you could go to the little watering hole underneath the archway on the beach as well to get water, which I think is a good trade-off. However, obviously, if you're not in a nesting ground, your eggs will take longer to incubate, you're less likely to hatch a lot more eggs, and you have a higher chance of getting a rotten egg as well. Speaking of the nesting grounds, these are the locations for some of them. So you have the southeast nesting ground, which is at -20 and -232. Northeastern nesting ground is at -416, -185. South nesting ground is at -168 and -623. Now let's get into the courting part of the game. So once you have got your nesting ground location and you've picked everything out, your diet's fine and dandy, and you've found a mate, the next thing that you want to do is court. Now this is obviously between 2 dinosaurs that are the same of opposite sex, same species. To court, you need to be past a specific growth stage. You cannot court with someone if you're a baby, so do bear that in mind. That being said, a male has to initiate this. You hold down N on the keyboard. Finally, the N key is getting some action, and you will be too when you start pressing it. So hold down N on the keypad, and then the female will respond by holding down or pressing N as well, and you do some animations which indicates that you are now courting. After a while, both dinosaurs will court, and then you will be in a pair. You can check this by going into your character menu, checking the very bottom of status report, which will show who you're paired with, and then you can see that over time. And congratulations, you're already doing better than me in your love life.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they...
And now let's go into the nest building. So when you are building a nest, there are two different types of nests to build. There is a stick nest and there is a non-stick nest. Essentially, that's the best way to talk about that. So the stick nest, the way to build it is this. You press N to then place down the nest or the nest area, and then you'll have an icon above that which indicates that it needs sticks. And to find those sticks, you'll hold Q and get your compass out, which is your sniffing bar, of course, and you'll see that same stick icon on the compass. You go to the sticks, press G to pick them up, go back to the nest and press E or hold E to apply the sticks to your nest. This then will grow the nest in size, and it will grow over time until it's fully completed. That's how you do it with sticks. It grows over time, and yeah, while you deposit sticks, it grows in time. There's also additional progress bar which you can have a look at as well. For a non-stick nest, it's a lot simpler. You simply go to the location that you've put the nest down and you hold E to dig up the nest. Now, you can still nest if an adult dies. If a female is still alive, you can still incubate the eggs that you've hatched. However, if the pair is broken, the nest technically cannot be used because obviously you're no longer with a mate and you can't hatch on laying eggs. Well, if a mate dies when the eggs are incubating, the eggs will still survive. That being said, there's one thing that I was told to be aware of in a stream by Islander, and that is if you have an egg in your egg roster area, which you press tab to show and then you go to the egg or nesting section, if you have an orangey tint on one of the eggs in that nest, that is a rotten egg and it's technically not usable at all. It's technically a destroyed egg. You hold E to destroy the eggs, pretty much. And to lay eggs, you hold E while you're in your nest as the female dinosaur, and you'll lay the eggs. So it's the same thing if you have a rotten egg, and essentially to see, once again, you go to your character menu, then you go to nesting or your nest, and then you can see all the eggs that are in the nest. Now with incubation, I do believe this is the same length of time for every single dinosaur, which is give or take 15 minutes. Now obviously in a nesting ground it's faster, so that could be the nesting ground speed. However, when you are incubating a dinosaur, you need to be keeping track of the temperature of the nest. So you'll have 3 bars in your main bar. You'll have cold, optimal, and hot. If it goes into cold or hot, your eggs will start to rotten, and then you'll have to restart your whole nesting journey over again. However, if you keep it in your optimal phase, then it's gonna hatch some very lovely dinosaur babies, which then you can either kill or you can grow to be big dinosaurs. That being said, essentially if an egg is getting too cold, you can just sit on it and it will warm up. Unless you're a Dinosuchus, if your nest is getting too cold, you need to collect sticks to put on the nest, and that will warm them up again. If it's too hot, you simply just go off the nest. However, one thing that I do want to say, you don't have to stay on the nest forever. You can literally go away from it and collect some food and come back and then sit on it, and it'll probably still be in the optimal area. But if you've got 2 adults, it's probably best if one of you stays by the nest and the other goes to get food and stuff like that, and then you take it in turns like a rota. The next thing is egg privacy. So once you've got your eggs and they're ready to hatch, a quick note is that you can set them to public or private. If they're on public, anybody can join them by going into the egg selection area on the character selection screen. You'll then get a confirmation message as the mother of the nest to allow that person to come and hatch. Another thing is if you want to have a private egg, you can set it to private in the egg settings, and then you get a private nest code. This is a 4-character code unique to that egg, and you can give that to any of your players, any of your friends you want to hatch in. No one else can get that egg unless they are given the code. Now let's get into the baby spawning. Firstly, spawning into the world is the same as the Isle standard system. You can literally spawn in without needing an egg, and you'll be about 10% growth, 15% growth already, so you're not obviously a full baby. However, you want to know about the babies. When you do nest, and you want to nest, you'll find a tab below the carnivore and herbivore section in the character select screen titled eggs. You can then either select from a roster of all the eggs that are available at that time, or you can put in a private nesting code and then go directly to the nest that that egg code is attributed to. Once you spawn in as a hatchling, you spawn in as an egg. You are unable to move, however you have to press spacebar or hold it down to move the egg, to wiggle it around to hatch your dinosaur. After a while, the egg will pop open, your little dinosaur will clamber up, and you'll have a little tiny baby dinosaur that is now in your nest. Essentially, you've got a hatchling, and congratulations, you have broken free from the egg. So, how do you get food? You need to beg for the food. I know, you have to be a simp to your parents and, well, you have to hold E to beg food. It's pretty standard. This prompts a begging animation, which then any adult in the group can go and give you food by holding E over you. There's no animation or barfing animation or being sick animation for this. However, the adult does spit into your mouth, so I guess the babies have some weird kinks and we shouldn't really be talking about them. Each dinosaur has its own begging animation and sound, which are all absolutely adorable. Once you are fed from an adult, you're more likely to get a full hunger bar. However, do bear in mind, as soon as you spawn, your hunger bar will be 0, so you will start starving straight away. But congratulations, you now know how to use a baby dinosaur. Just bear in mind, baby dinosaurs get killed by the Hypsilophodon spit, which MDWesLarl found out by getting spat on, which once again, I'm not gonna say, you know what, he does what he does, I guess. If he's into it, he's into it. Understandable, Wes, understandable. There are also a swathe of new locations on the map which you can all sink your teeth into. I've already mentioned all the nesting grounds, however I'm going to put the coordinates on the screen now for you to have a look at once again if you have forgotten. But there is also a new area of the map which is brand new. This is the North Beach Cove and is located at -480, -261, and is a very nice hidden spot for you people who want to play as pterosaurs and stuff like that, because they're only the ones that can get to there, which is pretty cool. Next up are the mineral rocks. Now this is a new location and is a new area of the map that just pops up everywhere. However, mineral rocks are really good. I'm going to talk about them really quickly, because if you eat too much or your dinosaur gets sick, or you get sick anyways, you can go to a mineral rock, you can eat from the mineral rock, and then of course you will lose the effects of being sick, which is really cool and it's a nice feature in the game. I'm pretty sure this is what the salt lick animation is that the developers had in the Trello board, so it's nice to see we've finally got it if that is the case. Anyways, the locations on the map for these salt rocks are: South Mineral Rock is at -155, -380. Canyon Road Mineral Rocks at -400, -325. East Salt Rock is at -300, -151. And there is a random salt rock which I found on stream, which I can't really get the coordinates for because my goddamn stupid ass face is covering it. The coordinates for this are -525, -159. And that are all the new locations in the game, of course. And the final thing I want to talk about in this update is the skin system. This is probably my favourite part of this brand new update because it's a beautiful system in the game. You can now make your dinosaurs however you please, to an extent of course. However, everybody will probably have their own different dinosaurs. Each dinosaur will have 2 patterns on release of the update, pattern A and pattern B. This will probably be expanded later down in the line in the future. This can also be changed. You can change the size of the pattern by changing it to small, medium and large. You can then change the male pattern, markings, flank, body and underbelly. You can change the colours for all of them. There are a lot of colours to choose from. It varies from dinosaur to dinosaur. However, there are blacks, there's greys, there's reds, there's purples, there's greens, there's blues, there's more duller colours. However, the majority of these colours are all duller colours to make it seem more realistic. Probably the most vibrant dinosaur is Hypsilophodon, and some of the male markings for like Stegosaurus and Carnotaurus are very nice as well. Female dinosaurs cannot change the male marking. skin. However, they have full reign on any other colours, so they can still look exactly the same as the male. However, you won't have the characterized male marking. Talking about the male marking, Taurontosaurus sadly only has one colour option for the male marking. Even males only have that one default colour. You can save a skin and export it, generating a code which you can send to other people who then they can import it to the game. You can then view the skin or the dinosaur in the animation phase, the pause phase, in the environment, not in the environment. There's different toggleable sites that you can do on the dinosaurs. You can also toggle the amount of growth that they've got, so you can see the transition of the skin from baby to adult and see how you like that with the skin. I really like it. You can create some absolutely incredible skins on this update, and I did make a video which was about 10 minutes long, just going through and showcasing all of the new skin stuff in the game, and I recommend you check it out. Anyways, everybody, that is the skin system, and that is everything in update 5 for the Isle Evrima. Quite a long video there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about the Isle Evrimas skin system? I'm very excited for it. I love it a ton, and yeah, it's nice to see that it's finally in the game. What do you think about update 5 in general? What's your favorite part? I like nesting, I like the skin system, but I do probably would enjoy the nesting system a bit more if I wasn't dying all the time. But that's just me. I do die all the time. I'm probably gonna get away from the nesting grounds now, but that does spin up a good challenge video that I could do in the future, trying to survive in the nesting grounds. What do you guys think? Would you guys check that out? Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts about this update in the comments down below, and yeah, if you are new, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.